I want to talk about loneliness today. Hi, my name is Ruth. This is a channel where we talk about anything that is just kind of like leaning into real life. That is real life, focused on like anything that's on the top of my head. Today it's loneliness. A couple days ago it was, or maybe this was yesterday. Yesterday it was finding peace in political unrest. And I have another channel where I talk about anything that's like culturally relevant, that's like focused on pop culture or current events, that honestly leaves me with a decent amount of like stress and drained energy. But I want this channel to be a place where I can gain energy, even if it's from talking through things that are negative, because ultimately we are going to lean into the joy of life. Even though we do recognize there is a decent amount of negativity and negative energy, it doesn't just like end with me saying negative things. It is me actively choosing joy and choosing love and kindness. So today I want to talk about loneliness, just because I know there are a lot of people on YouTube that seek out, I just know there's a lot of people on YouTube that seek out this specific type of content, because I love hearing about people's rawest, most kind of secret emotions, for them to like say it on like just a big public platform. Not for like exploitative reasons, but just kind of for like the fact that this is something that is so incredibly common. Loneliness, sadness, being in isolation, feeling depressed, that I feel like a lot of people don't really have the courage to say in like everyday conversation. But when it comes to being online, I think a lot of people feel very comfortable because they know they're going to find some sort of community or some sort of people that identify with them. So I feel very like, even though I want this channel to have like no pressure on it, and for like only a few people to see this, the people that I like want to need it, I hope that they find this. So the reason I'm talking about it in a way that I can talk about it here versus like in real life, it kind of feels like when you say something like, I've been feeling lonely lately, or you talk about your experiences with something that's a little bit sad, it always feels like there's somebody that will, like, from the minute that you say something, will always try to pull you out of it and won't really let you like expand on the topic that's at hand. You know what I mean? Like if I said like, I'm so lonely, I feel like I I don't have any friends around me, I don't blah blah blah. I feel like the natural human instinct is to kind of combat that with, you're you have plenty of friends, people love you, you can always reach out to me, you know. And it's like good that people want to seek out the good, but it's also a little bit invalidating in some ways, because it can kind of be just like, I just want to like talk. Like I know that people love me and I know that people support me, but I still also get like very lonely every once in a while. I was having a talk with my therapist about this, actually, which is what also made me want to post this, about how like I feel like I grew up being very in tune with loneliness, because not only did I grow up like as an adoptee. I have a family of 5 kids, 2 of us are adopted, but like we still haven't really like connected over a lot of the things about adoption that like make us feel isolated. So it felt like lonely because I only really feel those things myself, and a lot of things that I do feel about adoption as a kid were rooted in shame. So it was like, I can't talk about this, I can't bring this up. So I feel like a lot of my feelings of loneliness stem from that, being adopted, kind of feeling isolated in my predominantly white family. And then also is like, I grew up moving around a lot, so I had a lot of instability. The longest place I've ever lived was for 4 years. And so I kind of feel like the loneliness of not ever having a home base is something that I'm like consistently thinking about. And I was so excited when I was a kid to finally be able to like grow up and to make choices about, you know, like ending up in a place where I could live for more than 4 years, about finding a partner who like I'm gonna wake up to every single morning, who would like never get to leave me because we don't have to like move and not see each other, you know. But then you realize like just because you're an adult and just because environments and circumstances change doesn't mean that you're not going to be in tune with loneliness or sadness. It just looks different. Like, not to say that I thought that adulthood was going to be this amazing, beautiful thing that saved my life, but just to say that like I really thought that loneliness was going to not be as prevalent in my life, when I feel like it manifests in very different ways that are very, just feel a little bit more real. Like loneliness as an adult is as small as feeling like you don't really like have coworkers to talk to, or feeling like out of the loop with coworkers. And this doesn't happen to me, but an example that I think that happens to some people is like the kind of proverbial going to the water fountain and like nobody talks to you and like gossips with you or whatever. But it can also be as big as like being in a moment where you've had an argument with somebody, and then you're sitting and like reflecting, and then you get into like you dig yourself a little deep hole of being like, this is why I'm always going to be alone. Like, this is why it's hard for people to care about me. Like, you know, I talked about this with my therapist, and I was just telling her, like, I hate that I like, in my dark, low moments, I always go to feeling like nobody will ever genuinely, truly, without me begging them to, like, care about me in a way that is, like, intrinsic, in the way that I see with other people. Like, other people, like have gotten to grow up with other people. I feel like there's just this intrinsic feeling of, you know, they're, like, cared for in a way that I'm not. And we worked through that. She reminded me, she was like, what do you need to say to your inner child to, like, let her know that you guys are okay? And I thought that was so, that, like, really, it's even now, like, really hitting me because it's like such a crazy thing to think. Like, what do I need to let my inner child know to let her know that we're okay? And honestly, the first thing that I thought of was just a couple of days ago when I was really sad. I was thinking, like, what do I need to hear from somebody that I want to hear from the most? And I, like, thought to myself, like, I really want to hear from somebody. Like, I want to hear from my sister, the person who I feel very, like, maternalistic towards, who feels maternalistic towards me. Like, I want her to say to me, to remind me that, you know, I'm somebody that's worth being friends with. I'm kind. The right people will find me. Like, I really, really wanted to hear that from my sister. And then I told my therapist that, and she said, okay, but what do you need to tell yourself? I was like, yeah, I guess I do need to tell myself the things that I was hoping to hear from somebody else, because I am seeking that external validation. But, like, it's all within me. Like, I literally just projected things that I wanted to hear from myself onto her because it made me feel like it was more valid from somebody else. Right? It just made me realize, like, I'm, like, always just checking with my inner child, and I'm always feeling the things that my inner child is feeling. And my therapist just said, like, you can tell your inner child that it's okay to go play. Like, it's okay, she can let go. And that was crazy. That was crazy to hear, because I feel like I'm always, you know, like, incredibly anxious, incredibly feeling alone, and I'm always reminded of her when I was in the 4th grade, going to this elementary school that I knew nobody in, and I feel like I'm so in tune with that feeling of like being new at that school and feeling so awkward and uncomfortable. Or like, you know, starting college and being scared that like that nobody was gonna like me, or like you know, even being in like kindergarten and like having a crush on this boy who like didn't care about this kindergarten boy who didn't care about me, who like wasn't interested in, you know. But my therapist was like, just let her know that we're okay. That's something that I will always like. I that is something that just changed my life instantaneously. Talking to your inner child, reaffirming them, or just affirming them, and like letting them know that they can go play. I think that really speaks to loneliness, because it's like when you feel lonely, you don't feel like you have the freedom to do a lot of things. You feel trapped. And you don't feel like loved and supported. But I think as an adult, recognizing like the way out of it is just to say, you know, like you are so surrounded by love. You are so capable also of finding the people that want and need you, that are around you. Like there's so many people that want to provide you with the things that you're looking for. And like you just have to lean into that. And even if like you don't feel like you have many people around you that want that for you, you can also lean into knowing that like you're exactly where you need to be right now, and that one day the right people will come, right? Like if you genuinely, there's so many moments where I felt like so like hopeless, and I felt like life was incredibly pointless, and I just, you know, like just like sat down and just like prayed. And like whether or not you believe in prayer or anything spiritual or anything, I do believe that when you say a desire out loud and you like genuinely believe that it'll come true, it does come to fruition. But you have to take the first step of being like, I want a new friend. I want somebody that understands me. I don't want to be around people that like I feel like I have to beg for them to care about me and see me. And then I feel like once you say it, it does sometimes take a while. Sometimes it's pretty quick, but it will come to you if you just like speak it, you know? There's so many things that I feel like I've spoken and they've just come to me if I've just like had some patience. But like I feel like loneliness is so difficult because you feel like you're never going to get out of it. It feels like that is your whole entire life. It feels like you are soaked in sadness forever. But just with like a little bit of like hope and just like a request, everything could change. And it just takes potential time. It also takes like a lot of self-work to like do the affirmations to yourself. To like talk to your inner child and let them know like you're okay. Like I got you. Yeah, I don't know what the heck this was. I'm just gonna post it and see what the heck happens. Very little things will hardly happen because this is a growing channel, very much in the beginning stages. But wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you have love around you. I hope that you find incredible value out of time with yourself in this period of potential loneliness, or just that, you know, your inner child is fed. That's all I have.